Today, 168 Republican National Committee members will elect the next chairman. These members will either re-elect the current chair, Ronna McDaniel, or opt for new leadership with Harmeet Dillon or Mike Lindell. Rasmussen reports asked Americans what they thought about the current RNC chairwoman. 9% said they found Ronna McDaniel to be very favorable. 23% said somewhat favorable, 18% said somewhat unfavorable, and 24% said very unfavorable, and 26% said they're not sure. When Rasmussen asked Americans who they would back for the RNC chair, 19% said Harmeet Dillon, 18% said they'd go with our very own Mike Lindell, and only 12% said they want Ronna McDaniel reelected, while a whopping 31% said other and 20% said they weren't sure. So let's bring in Rasmussen reports to actually understand this and what it really means and what this says for today's events, if anything, because they don't necessarily have to represent the people they're supposed to represent, right, Mark? But if they did, this is what they might do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is all part of efforts that we've been doing to really Monday morning quarterback what went wrong for Republicans in November. And I think the message with this polling is that GOP's voters, they don't trust their leaders and they don't think they're winners. And if you look at November, I mean, really, honestly, Emerald, it was a gimme, right? The GOP had a 13-point lead on the generic ballot. Biden had approval numbers in the high 30s going into the end of the summer. And every single one of the issues that voters had concerns about really played to the conservative message. Now, Trump wasn't really part of the equation. And, you know, for better or worse, there was a pretty big vacuum. And I think it's fair to say that the RNC people really didn't fill that vacuum. And you could say for whatever reason that the Democrats outperformed. Maybe it was get out the vote. Maybe it was messaging. Maybe it was big data. But every single one of those is really in the RNC's wheelhouse. So I think the big takeaway there, it's great that Mike won. I think that people want, somebody that they can trust. And he walks away with 30% of the vote, which sounds low, but he beats Harmeet Dillon by 50%. And he gets twice the vote that Ronna McDaniel had in our poll. So I think the big takeaway there is among Republican voters, Ronna McDaniel only gets 15% of the vote, which means that, 30% for Mike, 20% for Harmeet, and another 15% for some other candidate. So most GOP voters want somebody else. Now, who they want, it looks like Mike, right? And I think what's fascinating is we're the only one that put his name in our polling there. So a couple other pollsters polled on this, and they didn't. I think you look at the news media, they're treating him like he's not a serious contender. But the Republican Party has done great with trusted outsiders with big name recognition. So, it makes sense to me. But the other question that we asked, you didn't put up there, it shows, I think, exactly the issue that the RNC is having. So what we asked was, in terms of helping elect candidates for their party, which has been more effective in recent years, the DNC or the RNC, or have they been about the same? 40% of all voters say the DNC and only 20% say the RNC. So voters are twice as likely to say that the DNC is more effective at helping get their candidates elected. But when you look at party numbers, the difference is absolutely crazy. 59% of Democrats say the DNC is better, and only 8% of Democrats say the RNC is better. On the RNC side, 26% of the Republicans say that the DNC is better. So like more than 4 times as much, right? 3 times as much, sorry. And then 43% of Republicans have faith in their own party. So that's much lower than the faith the Democrats have. And if you look at independents, 3-1, they say that the DNC is better than the RNC at getting candidates elected. So I think that's a really big signal there. And then we asked other questions too over the last couple months. Approval of individual leaders like Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, and now we did Ronna McDaniel as well. And her numbers, I corrected them by removing the not sures. A lot more people have not sure opinions of her just because she's not as well known. But among Republicans, with corrected for not sure, she doesn't do that bad. She's got a 55% favorability rating. That's not quite as much as Kevin McCarthy had in November. He had 63. Of course, Mitch McConnell's way down there, 37. I don't think it's necessarily an issue about individual favorability. I think they want to change. And we asked people if you want, Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell replaced, and Republicans, 62% to 27% say they want a new leader instead of Mitch McConnell. And Kevin McCarthy, he had a plurality in his favor, but he couldn't get to a majority. It was 46-38. And they want new leaders. And this is another sign that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a really bad report card for the RNC, and I think it should probably be shared at the convention today. I hope, and I'm quite certain the people there are looking at Rasmussen reports, a lot of them. But if they think one of their committee members aren't, it should be a handout, and there should be like a breakout session about it, because this is not good. They need to do something different. And I am a little bit surprised that Mike won, because, like you said, the corporate media and a lot of Republican operatives have purposefully left him out, and there's been this really big push for Harmeet. She's had all the bolstering of the people who don't want Ronna, so that surprises me. But Mike, like you said, people really trust Mike. They really like him. They do see him on their TV almost every day. So it's great news. We like our Mike Lindell as well, and we like you, Mark and Rasmussen, and we appreciate that you do the polling that no one else does.
Nobody else did it.
It's important to know.
Thanks for helping us get the word out.
Thank you.